Good evening, one and all, and a very warm welcome to the webinar on the topic Interior Design Career Beyond COVID-19. Yes, we're just going to see what's going to be the new normal in this industry. I hope every one of you are able to see the screen. Okay, so yes, the session is on the scope, the trends, and the career opportunity in interior design, which is anticipated in the new normal, which is beyond COVID-19. Yes. So getting into the agenda is like, first, what is beyond COVID-19? It is called the new normal people speak about. So what's new normal? And what is interior designing exactly? And about how is the industry expected to be in the new normal, this industry in specific, the interior design industry, and what skills should an interior designer possess to be called as a professional interior designer, and how to equip oneself in this recession time for the new normal. So with this as the agenda, let me just start by just giving a brief intro on myself. My name is Soumya Lakshmi and I represent two companies. I run a company called Gestalt Designs Private Limited and a company called Synergy Decor. And both these companies are very much into interior design. While we do designs through a team of designers and architects who work with us through Gestalt Designs Private Limited, and those designs are executed as projects in Synergy Decor. So in Synergy Decor, we also have a factory in Chennai, in Kovilambakam, and the factory will be having the production team doing the production there, and then you'll be the processed materials will be shifted to the site and the projects will be handled by the site engineers. So these are the two companies that we run for the last 7 years, and we have done more than 400 projects, interior design projects across major cities, maximum in South India and few in North and East India too. So with these as the base work for us, we started recruiting designers, interior designers in specific, and then we thought, okay, instead of taking somebody and then training them on interior design, we started recruiting people from the training institute itself. So while we started looking for professional designers in the market, then we identified that this training institute, Dream Zone School of Creative Studies, has a amazingly beautiful program which molds a person into a professional interior designer at the end of the program. So we started recruiting these people, and later we thought, okay, we can start our own center as a franchise, and we have started the center in Kovilambakam next to our factory and design office, and this is Dream Zone School of Creative Studies. So I run that also. So I represent these three portfolios, and that's about me. And let's move on to the next slide, which is interior design. So what's interior design as a profession? Interior design, to give a simple form of explanation about interior design, there are three main elements which the interior design is to adapt to. One is it has to plan the space effectively. The available interior space has to be planned effectively, and the plan has to effectively means it has to mainly tap the functional requirements and the aesthetic requirements of the customer, and yes, meeting the customer's requirements. It should be functionally fit, it should be aesthetically good, and it should be planned effectively to meet the requirements of the customer. So in short, this is the simplest explanation that we can speak about interior design. So interior contracts, many times we get confused between interior design and interior contracts. There are many people who call themselves as doing interior design, wherein they don't design, they execute projects. So they are called as contractors. In fact, to just give an example from my side, like Gestalt Designs Private Limited is a company which does the designing, and wherein Synergy Decor is a company which does the projects, execution of the project. So we do interior design in Gestalt Designs Private Limited, and we do interior contracting in Synergy Decor. And in contracting, you can either contract only the one portion of interior design, or the entire gamut of interior design, like not just the carpentry, even electrical, plumbing, and false ceiling, flooring, painting, wall decorations, interior decorations, that is. So everything put together, where they are called as turnkey interior contractors. So who take care of the entire gamut of interior design as a person. So this interior contracts, as I said, is representing the execution of the interior design project, and generally creative designs are given for resident spaces and commercial spaces. Resident spaces like apartments, villas, and commercial spaces like retails, hotels, offices, all these things that are listed in this slide. Okay, so as I said, for people who join little late, I would just repeat again that we would be having the chat box is there. If in case any questions or concerns are there, you can raise in those chat box at middle of the presentation, during some time, like maybe at the end of 2-3 slides, or once I will be taking up the chat box to reply on the chat. Okay, so where even my panelists, the team members in the panel, they can also reply, and I can also reply at a regular interval of time. So yeah, while we have seen about interior design as a profession, now let us look at interior design myths and facts. Myths and facts, like there are many assumptions that prevail in the minds of people about interior design whenever it is spoken about. So let us just look at that. I have consolidated 5 major assumptions that generally people carry while we speak about a profession called interior design. So myth number one is interior design is for big kitchen or big house. Mine is very small. It is only 2 BHK house, or sometimes, the studio houses. They all say, like, this is the space that I have. So what do I do with this? Interior design is for places where it is big. What will you do with this? So the fact is, this is a myth. The fact is that interior design is mainly for small kitchen and small houses, not for big. Of course, big can be done, but there is no big challenge or excitement in doing up a larger space. Larger space anyway is there, so you have to just plan, fit it everywhere. But in small space, but the requirement is the same, there is when the challenge of the interior design comes. I have only this much square feet. Now I have to use this square feet, this space, to fit my requirements, which is a huge list. So there is when the interior designer really have to think, design, plan the space to fit everything functionally and aesthetically. So this profession is mainly for small spaces. If, for example, like metro cities like Mumbai and all, the space is very, very constrained. Of course, every metro is becoming that way today. So you will only have even a 3 BHK, the square feet will be very less, because the builder will be looking at accommodating one more flat and occupying one more person. So when this is the square feet and I have all requirements of a family, then how am I to plan the space? Is what is the challenge of the interior designer. So this is very much a profession for smaller houses. Yeah. So next we move on to the myth number 2. Professional interior designers are expensive. Let's do it up with the carpenters. Okay, the actual concern of the individuals who feel this is that they don't want to spend more on interior design aspect as such. So they just believe that, okay, we can engage a carpenter and we can do up the space. See, the actual fact here is that while you have invested so much on every square feet of your flat, we spend today in Chennai, particularly, when we understand the rate or at which we purchase flats of just enormous. Like, we don't get any 2 BHK for less than 45 lakhs, even in the outskirts of Chennai. So such is the value of the floor space available. Then you have to optimize the investment that you have done on the floor space by giving a good design so that that space becomes well utilized instead of trying out with the carpenter. So the carpenter is not a designer, he is an executor. He is going to finally execute what designs are you going to give. So that means then you are engaging somebody and trying out which is not his profession, and neither yours is that profession. So the customer actually is trying out something, and the cost of the trial is going to be big impact. And either we have to redo, rework, or we have to live up with it and compromise with what quality has come out. So interior designing and engaging a professional interior designer is going to save the money that you have invested on the flat, and not is going to be expensive. If in case if the customer finds interior designing as expensive, then just the cost of a trial is more expensive than engaging a professional interior designer. So investing on a professional designer saves money with better lifestyle and peace of mind. Yes, that is their expert area, and they're going to take care of it. So that's myth number 2. And myth number 3 is interior decoration is interior design. These are two different ball games altogether. Like as such, one is the subset of the overall universe. That is, let us understand what is interior design and what is interior decoration. Many of us, like many customers, whomever I have interacted with in my profession in this industry, they generally feel they mistake for interior design contracting to be interior designing, and they start comparing. So I want to present the fact here that interior decoration is glorifying the space with adding few elements. It's like I already have a space, and this space I'm going to use it as it is, but I want to lit up, saying you can add more paintings, more wall murals, just doing up some wall paper decorations or some decorations which can glorify, add aesthetical element alone. So that is interior decoration. I can decorate it with this, that, etc. Some gorgeous designs or general decorations. So that is going to add glory to the space, wherein interior designing is planning the space. So by interior decoration, you just get the outlook, wherein by interior designing, you actually use the space effectively for the requirement that you have. I have a requirement of these to fit inside my flat, and there is somebody who is going to design the interiors in such a way that all these list of requirements are going to fit in at my comfort, in my taste, in a better outlook also. So this is the actual work of interior designer. So by this explanation, I would say that interior decoration is a subset of interior design. Interior designer also decorates the interior space and glorifies the space along with designing it, planning it, and giving it a functional element to it. So wherein interior decoration is a subset of interior design, wherein the other way is not true. Interior designers can also do interior decoration, but interior decorators cannot do interior design. Okay. So this is the clarity about this myth that we have. So the fourth myth is interior designers don't care about functionality. Generally, I have heard people saying that, interior designers, the architects, the designers, Soumya, they don't think about how we use. They just give some flamboyant designs, which are very tough for me to use. Basically, the fact remains that this is just the extension of myth 3. When you have tried engaging an interior decorator or carpenter directly, and he has not thought through the functional element, yes, they would not. Interior decorator need not necessarily think about the functional aspect, because his job as a decorator is only to glorify the space and not to functionally plan the space. So that is a wrong expectation from a person who is expert in something else, not in the interior designing space. So by that, we come to a conclusion that interior designers generally don't look at functionality. Actually, the fact is that the fundamental responsibility of a good professional interior designer is to think about the functionality. They'll first analyze, as a good professional interior designer, our job is to first analyze what are your requirements, how do you function in this place, what is that you want to do with this space, and what is your taste and how are you trying it out. Okay, let us give a design which can accommodate all these things. So this is the fundamental responsibility, and it is not bypassed. Okay, so that's myth number 4. And the next myth, last myth, myth number 5 that I have consolidated is interior designers will not consider customer's taste. Yes, this is again the extension of the last myth, that if in case the person doesn't look at functionality, then he also will not be looking at the taste of the person, the customer. But the interior designer, the fact is that interior designer has to get the input from the customer. That's the first process in interior designing. Gather information from the customer. The input is not only on the requirements, the functional elements, also on the taste, on your preference, because beauty is in the eyes of the beholder. What I see as very beautiful may not be as beautiful as I see to you. So your taste, the customer's taste, is very, very important for me to act as a good designer. Here my role is to design a project for you. Finally, it's the customer who's going to live long term in that particular place. So he has to live in a comfort zone where he feels very good. So the fundamental work of every designer is to gather the requirements plus also the taste preference of the particular customer. And then what they do is they assimilate. As a designer, we assimilate both the requirements and the taste and then bring it together and give it a shape and give it a color, look, feel, and then present as a design. So the functional, aesthetical, feasible here is technically it should be possible. You may require something somewhere, but then if technically it is not possible there, maybe due to the civil challenges available, or maybe due to the technical aspect of that particular place, so then feasibility study is also required, and then finally present an aesthetical design. So however, having said this, yes, interior designers may suggest you something based on their experience, based on their knowledge, the accumulated expertise. They may suggest some more points than what you have come out with to add value to your requirements and not to defy them. So it is up to the customer's perception to take those things and accept or reject the suggestions. Sometimes what customers ask may not look good there. So if in case we are able to visualize, we may suggest saying, no, this doesn't go well. Maybe you can try out something else. Then that is a suggestion. And it is completely at the end of the customer to accept or reject that particular design, and whatever is finalized by the customer gets into the contract, gets into the execution. So actually what a good interior designer has to do is completely consider the customer's taste, of course with adding more value from the expertise accumulated from their profession. So yeah, now having spoken about interior design and some myths and facts in the industry, now let's look at how this industry is looked at in the near future, in the new normal, beyond COVID-19. Once this, right now we are into this situation where lockdown due to a pandemic, and that's actually giving us some threat. Okay, there are few industries which are struggling and which are seeming to struggle. In future also, it's post the pandemic, in the new normal, they are going to have tough time. And there are few industries which are seen as it will flourish. So let us look at where our industry falls into, and also let us before getting into our industry in the new normal, let us look at what is this new normal. See, basically this new normal is an economic term where it comes in economics, where they explain as a situation which comes out as a new normal situation post a crisis, any emergency, any crisis, any problem. Where there is a big social and economic dip in the entire region, country, or now it is right now, though it is the entire world. So after this crisis, the emerging normal is called as the new normal. So we are looking at how this industry is going to seeming to respond in the new normal. Okay, so actually any recession, this is recession that we are talking about. Recession is quite a cycle. Recession is not new to us. New normal itself is not new to us. It is said in the statistics that every 12 years once a recession hits every industry. So we spoke about pagers, the cell phones, they rolled over, the cell phones, then the smartphones rolled over, and then something gets hit, and this is a fundamental philosophy of the universe, that there is a disruption of one particular situation and an eruption of new situation, and that gets into the growth stage, then maturity stage, and then it again has a decline stage where it has to be disrupted and new eruption has to happen. So this is actually a cycle. We speak about product cycle, product life cycle, we speak about the disruption of the technologies, eruption of new technologies. So this is actually not something new, but maybe regular recession is once in 12 years, but this is happening once in, say, pandemic across the world is happening after a century. So yes, we are here experiencing the situation. There are two ways of looking at it. One is, yes, there is a situation. What am I to do? I don't have any control over the situation. Let me sit and wait for the world to respond. Or number two is, yes, there is a situation. Let me look at how I can equip myself to handle the situation so that I come out successfully beyond the situation as well. So we are looking at this industry, interior design as an industry in the new normal. How is it looking at responding, and how can we look at responding to that? Okay. So going to the slide, what according to many statistics and understandings we feel is that the focus on better home interiors may rise, because see, we never thought that more than a month we all will be locked up inside our house, staying safe. The home is the best resting place that we have ever understood till date, because all along we had been speaking about going to for partying or for enjoying. We used to go out to malls, theaters, resorts, restaurants, whatever, wherever. So home had been the last priority for our enjoyment, but we have understood in this last 1 month or more than a month that we can still be happily staying at home and connected with the family, and still do something from home and try managing something. So now when we have understood that home is going to be the assured resting place for us, then every one of us definitely will think about more investments on the home, because it's anyway to ours. It is not about spending somewhere. In a year, if we consolidate the amount that we spend outside, we can do up our interiors much better and experience it for sure inside our house. Anyway, it's going to be stable, permanent. So that's going to be the shift for most of us, almost all of us, that the focus on home interiors to become better. As I said, the experience at home increases the need. So what we are experiencing currently, by now we would have had a list of requirements already, that once the lockdown is called upon, like once it is released, then I may have to do this up, do that up, like maybe a workstation or some good environment, aesthetics, functional elements. So we will be having a list. So that would call for more requirements. New residence projects or renovation of the existing place. Maybe now we would have had a good experience inside the house, that forever what we have seen inside the house in 1 month we have seen so many times, every one of us. So we know by inch and inch everywhere that what is missing, what is required, what is good, and what has to be done. So that kind of understanding for renovating the place. Additional necessary elements. Yeah, earlier, like when we used to give a proposal for a residence project, whenever somebody inquires, then we normally give a proposal with saying, by default, there will be some elements like modular kitchen, yes, required, wardrobe, crockery unit, puja unit, yes, required, and study table sometime, and utility area in the service area, balcony, or a shoe rack. All these are definite requirements. So that will be their default in every proposal. Now, we foresee in the new normal that adding to these elements, there will be few more necessary elements added in everyone's proposal or requirement, that home office. Now, see, I never have, all along in my career, I'd been, prior to this companies, I had been working with a company called Cat Center for 16 years, and all along I had given a lot of presentations. But these days, I've started speaking virtually. All along had been in person, either inside the center or in a hotel, a seminar, or in the offices, in the commercial spaces, where this is a new experience for us to sit inside a room inside our house and speak in front of a laptop and virtually connect with people. So now there is a requirement that every one of us should have a good, functionally fit home office where we can work from home itself. Work from home has become the new normal. So we need a better infrastructure for facilitating us to work from home. And home theater, yeah, all along we had been thinking about watching movies only in the theaters. Now whatever we speak is about Netflix, Prime, Amazon Prime, or Hotstar, or wherever the movies are available in the online portal itself. So everyone have got subscribed to these portals and have started watching movies from the house itself through the gadget that's available, either the TV or the computer, whatever, wherever we are able to take the movies from. So now the requirement situation would demand that anyway I'm going to watch from home along with my family. Why not I do it with a better interior? So doing of a home theater will become a necessity. Like, yes, I am spending for what I am using, not I am wasting. And functionally suitable kitchen. The cooking time had got increased, and the cooking by self had got increased with reduced usage of Swiggies and Zomatos, or all along that had been the standby option always. But now we have understood that our kitchen is the rest assured place where we can cook and have. So now when we spend more time in the kitchen, we understand as ladies that maybe this unit could have been this way, or there is a requirement of a new unit here. I am little not comfortable with this, I may require one more unit, all these things. So functionally suitable kitchen, not just a kitchen. So more storage units, every one of us inside home, and mostly looks like the new normal is going to come up with maximum people at home as much as possible, and only specific profiles or portfolios which demands entry into the streets has to walk down and go to the work. So the requirement for increased storage units thereby increase. Better space planning, all these things calls for planning the space in optimal way, so that this house is going to be the same, but the requirements have gone up. So when that is the case, then I have to look at how to plan the space in such a way that I accommodate everything. For example, this in an existing house, if there is a bedroom where all along we had been thinking only about a cot, a bed, just to rest, and maximum one TV or a TV panel which can be used for just some relaxation or watching some clips or something. Right now we have a requirement, either we'll convert that as a home theater area, or if the living room is going to be a home theater, then I will look at this room as to also be used as a home office area. So this big huge cot is going to be a disturbance. So then I'll move into a folding cot. An accessory is there where you can fold the cot and then do a workstation at the corner or a place where it is possible. Then in the daytime, the cot can be used as a storage, vertical storage unit, and during the night it can be made as a cot and it can be used as a bed for resting. And in the daytime, once this is up, then I can use that same office, the same bedroom as a office area. So the same space is getting planned better in order to fit more requirements. So this actually had been the practice in countries like Japan, where they had been optimizing every opportunity, and now that becomes a mandate for most of us across the world, and particularly in India with such a huge population. Yeah, best use of every place in residence, as I said earlier. So this speaks about increased importance to aesthetics. We are spending more time in house, and then definitely we would be looking at making the lifestyle a little better. So spending on the interiors is going to be definitely looked at as an investment for better lifestyle, better peace of mind, better connection. So thus, this consolidates to tell that increased opportunity in interior design field. So this is seen as the new normal trend for interior design career. So having spoken about the industry's trend, now let us look at how the customers would start preferring in the new normal situation. So first, the customers are expected to start seeking professional designers, because the space has to be planned in a large way than earlier. It is not that I just would require these 6-7 elements. It is like more functionally. Also, it has to save the space in such a way that I use the same space for multi-purpose. So I need a professional designer to be engaged for doing this better, so that the same floor area, the carpet area, I use as best as possible. Okay, so seeking professional designers would become high, and renovation or improvement in the existing interiors, as I was mentioning, execution at site to be minimum. Now with this new normal coming up, saying social distancing, less contact, no contacts, we are definitely concerned. Even right now, whenever we go out and purchase something, either the grocery or something coming in, we do so many things to safeguard our house from what we could bring into the house as an infection. So we immediately take care of. So anybody coming from outside, they'll definitely be seen as a threat. So engaging people inside the house for renovation projects or at site for new projects would be seen as a very less priority. And thus, this would call for a number of days at site to be minimum for installation. Thus, we foresee that the factory finished and installation only at site kind of trend will go further. Like maximum work, we in Synergy Decor, we have a factory where we do the production. We had been doing that way only, but earlier it used to be okay. If in case the person comes into the site and does also, it's okay. But now we foresee that people may think that as a threat, and maximum let you complete only in your factory. Let you just bring it and install. The basic requirements allowed to be done at the site, probably less than a week or sometime. You complete and wrap up and go. It is better, safe for us. So that kind of minimum number of days at site. And DIY products, yes, do it yourself products, mostly like order, bring it, do it yourself with an instruction. That because of the general fear that this pandemic has created in all of us. Yeah, safety and hygiene factor. Earlier, when a vendor used to be shortlisted for finalizing on the interior order, contractor I am referring to, the normal elements of consideration for any customer would be that whether they'll be doing it on time, and whether they will be using the proper materials, whether they will be how is the budget, how expensive are they, and whether they will be taking up properly as per the design and all. Now adding to that element, there is one more main factor which is coming in, which is safety and hygiene factor. I just did a survey, and and understood that even in the purchase of groceries or provisions or whatever, the vegetables, people prefer professional brands like with baskets. So I don't want to name any brands here. I'm not a brand specific person here. However, a big brand, professional brand, because like they would take care of these precautionary elements, like they advertise. When they advertise itself, they speak about the delivery guys are tested for their body temperature, and they are taking care of the hygiene factors, like they are sanitized, disinfected, the bags are disinfected, and no contact deliveries. These are the commitments that the brands are giving, so which gives a customer general confidence that yes, I can go and purchase from them. Wherein as compared to a local vendor, a person, grocery wala, who may not have these understandings, these educations, and he may, without his knowledge even, pick the infection and spread it community. So the hygiene and factor and the safety factor will be a basic element in finalizing a vendor. And yes, thus the increased opportunity for professional contractors gets into the picture. So we foresee that the customer's preference would be on professional people to be engaged rather than inviting troubles. So yes, now we spoke about, I gave an understanding on professional interior designer, what is it as a profession, and what the industry is seeming to become in the new normal post this COVID. Then now, having spoken about those, let us look at what are the expectations from a professional interior designer. Now that we said professional interior designer would be expected, what are the expectations from that person? There are two major requirements that the elements that I have classified as. One is design conceptualization, one is presentation, right? To just give a simple explanation about these two broad segments, design conceptualization is like when the customer is giving a question, a requirement, probably the list of needs inside the interior space. Then as a designer, I'm supposed to conceive, come out with a concept, visualize, and bring all the requirements in a beautiful design which can functionally be fit and which can aesthetically look good, and then that concept has to be presented. So these are the two major elements which the interior designer actually works on. So just to get inside in details, clarity, a good professional interior designer should possess clarity in gathering requirements. He should not fail in taking the requirements from the customer, because that would be the starting point for a not so good design to be presented. Because when the requirements are not gathered properly, then the design output is not going to be as per the expectation of the customer. As is the input, so will be the output. So that input has to be gathered properly. And design visualization. While a normal person, a person who is not an interior designer, a layman, sees a space, an empty space, as a space, and says that I need all these things, an interior designer, a professional interior designer, should be able to see that space with a completed site, with the unit installed in it, and with the light effects, with the which is available in the site, and with the colors that the taste of the customer would do. So all these are called visualization. In his mind, in his eyes, he has to visualize and do up the space in his mind itself. So that's the second quality. And effective space planning. We spoke in length about effectively, efficiently planning the space, not leaving any part of the usable space. Creative ideas, yeah. The interior designer is supposed to come out with good, innovative, creative ideas which can really excite the customer in benefiting from it. Yes. Yes, while it has to be creative, it also definitely has to be functionally fit, aesthetically good design. Aesthetics means refers to the outlook, wherein functional is referring to the usable element of the design. And yes, technical and material application. Mostly, like whenever we tried recruiting interior designers for our companies, we felt that the people who are doing designs, they sometimes lack the technical understanding of how this, as I was speaking about the folding cot, that accessory, the application of the accessory, and what kind of thickness of material has to be fit for that particular accessory and the hardware, and all these understandings are whether technically it is possible on this wall. All these understandings should be possessed by the interior designer for him to be a professional and a good designer. So these are the conceptualization stage. Then next comes the presentation. Now, having conceived the design, now the concept has to be put into an output. This output is not about execution. We are not speaking about design contracts. We are speaking about design presentation, where the output is for the customer to see and for the customer to have a clarity. Because as you are an interior designer, you have conceptualized and you have come out with a design. You are understanding the design. But what about your customer? When the customer understands only, he will be signing up with you. So you have to necessarily know how to make the customer understand by giving good presentations. The presentations can be either, as I said, the clarity to the customer. The presentations can be either manual sketch, that is the drawings, the sheets that we draw using the drafters and all, and or the software tool. There are a lot of software available in the market to give a good presentation about interior design, and there are 2D software, 3D software and all. Some are listed here. These are something which we felt is good, usable and very handy for the interior designers. And as the software is good, but it is as good as the person using it only. So a person who efficiently uses the software can get the best output for the customer. Okay, I'll just take the chat if in case anything is there. Previous slide, just 2 seconds. Okay, probably as Kirtana has also mentioned, there's a chat saying previous slide. We will be sharing the slides also, like all these contents. There's one more question, like which college can I join, normal colleges or college specifically for designing? We'll be speaking about the courses a little later. Do you teach 3ds Max? 3ds Max is also there, but then we suggest these programs like SketchUp for interior designer. Basically, we'll speak about that a little later. So far these are the chats that I guess, yeah, we'll just continue and probably we'll answer a little later. Okay, now having discussed about the interior design as a profession, an interior designer professional, as a professional, what are expected from him, then now some of you have asked, like one chat was asking that, you know, where can I join to become an interior designer? So you basically have a feeling that I want to become an interior designer. Then before even joining, there may be a lot of questions which comes into many of your minds saying, what are the prerequisites for me to become a professional interior designer? To join even, you know, to join a course. So there are only 2. We speak about 2 basic requirements, prerequisites. One is the passion towards interior design. Of course, for any industry, for you to flourish in any industry, passion is the fundamental, passion is the key. Once you have the passion, you will succeed very well. So that is the same for interior design also. And the second is aspiration to learn and grow. Once you have the passion, once you see the opportunity in the market, in the industry, and once you feel, yes, I am passionate about taking that opportunity and doing, then you should have the aspiration to learn and grow. Learning is very important, because most of us, like we take up short terms and then understand that, you know, these would not be a cup of tea for us. So for you to understand that, then learning from proper course or proper institution is very important. That's what we are speaking about. The third element, most likely the majority of the people will have this as the first element. Interior designer, to become an interior designer, I have to be creative. That would be the first element that people will be thinking about, but that's not at all there. So These are the only two elements which are required, requirements, prerequisites for becoming a professional interior designer. And what about creativity? Most likely people will ask me whenever I speak about this, Soumya, then what about creativity? I'll tell you that creativity is definitely required for an interior designer, but is not a prerequisite because it is already there. Creativity is inbuilt in every one of us. So there is no necessity for me to present that creativity is a prerequisite, because it's anyway there with you. Why should I unnecessarily? It's like for drawing, you should have a hand. I mean, you anyway have, why I should specify it in the requirement list? So creativity is inbuilt in every one of us, and it has to only be tapped, triggered, and made use of. Okay, so there's seeming to be a chat. Okay, so let me go on for speaking about the creativity. Many people, when I speak about creativity is required, but that's not a prerequisite because you already have it, they get confused because they don't understand one concept that there is something called right brain concept. Creativity is actually present in right brain. Most of you would have heard about this right brain concept. Let me explain for the sake of people who would have not heard about it earlier. In our brain, there are two parts. One is left part, and the right part. So left brain and right brain they speak about. That's what is highlighted here. If you see the left brain and the right brain, I'm spotting the left brain part and the right brain part. Generally, it is told that left brain is for more logical, analytical, formula-based, scientific, theoretical, those kind of requirements left brain handles. Okay, the right brain is mainly for creative, innovative, new ideas, and brainstorming and out-of-box thinking. All these comes under the right brain concept. Okay, generally, if in case you think about even from your childhood or you as a parent today, what you nurture your children, it all will be mostly the logical part, the left brain part. Our education system is completely with logical part, and whatever extracurricular classes that we send also will be either, I am not speaking anything low about them, with due respect to every individual training, those are required, but then only not those alone. That's what I'm trying to say. So like abacus, whenever I ask some parents saying, what is your child doing after his school days, the school time, then they say about, I send him to Olympiad training, I send him to abacus, or all these, if at all, spell bee, all these are very, very, very well fine-tuning your left brain. So all along from our childhood, we've been fine-tuning our left brain. And what about the right brain? We've just forgotten, and we have not touched it. Anything you possess, but you don't touch it, you don't use it, you forget it, and you later forget that there is something like that available with you. Not just the brain, even anything, any item in your house, anything, object or material, for a long time you possess it inside your house, but you just forgot that it is there, and you don't use it frequently, you don't at all touch it also, then you will feel that you don't possess it at all. So that is when we feel that we don't possess creativity. It is there with us. Every one of us have both the parts of the brain. No one has only one brain. Every one of us have both brains. So right brain is there, and creativity is sleeping there. You have to only tap it, trigger it, use it, start using it, practice it, so that it gets fine-tuned and you become creative. So it's about you tapping it, using it, and not getting it from somewhere. So that's why I say, like, this is basically with right brain concept, you can start tapping the creativity. The traits of the right brainer are given here. A right brainer is normally said to be creative, imaginative, intuitive, emotional, thoughtful, subjective. Creativity is more than all these things. Creativity is a very important leadership trait. Like, even if in case you don't want to become a designer, For you to be a good leader, creativity is very important. And most likely, that's why we hear many people saying that I'm not an inborn leader. He is a very inborn leader. Probably he's using his right brain so much and practiced so much that he is creative and he is able to do the leadership activities. So it is all inbuilt with us. So what should I do in order to get this creativity in me? Now I have the passion, I have the interest, I am aspiring to learn more on this particular industry, the subject, the career, interior designer, and I want to become an interior designer. So what should I do? Then we suggest strongly that you have to look at right training to tap the right brain, which will help us to use it. We should have a proper training which can help us to trigger the creativity in us and then use it so that we can become a better creative person. Okay, so this is what we are going to speak about. I strongly recommend, when it comes to interior design training, I strongly recommend that Master Diploma in Interior Architecture and Design, which was designed in CAD Center, in Dream Zone, a division of CAD Center in 2003, is a time-tested product, and I had been living with it for the last, say, 17 years now, and it's a beautiful product. The course is designed in such a way that it can mold a person who is aspiring to become a designer, but not yet a designer, to become a complete, full professional, to get started with the works from the next day. So that's the course about. So there's some... Okay, thank you. So yeah, if in case I'm doing a bachelor degree in shipping and my father is a builder, there's a question: how can I start my career in interior designing? Shall I go for diploma in interior designing? If yes, that's what we are speaking about. There are a lot of institutes available. Maybe you can also Google, but then what I strongly recommend is this, because I had been living through it, and I had been framed through it, carved through it, and now we are teaching people also through this institute in Dream Zone. We have the institute here in Chennai, and this is the course that is designed. I'm just speaking about the course right now. This course is tailor-made to make you as a professional, okay, professional interior designer that we are speaking about. It will innate the creativity, because like mostly people when they get into some training courses where only the interior design concept is given, not enabling them to create and do something, they feel that this is good but not for me. That is something is eradicated in this course, and you will be started to develop your own skill sets in terms of proficiency for creating new ideas, planning spaces, and professionally presenting designs. It involves planning, designing, decorating, administering interior spaces. To understand design development, conceptualization idea, we spoke about all these things, remember. Building materials, building construction, specification, and estimation. As I said, when you want to become you can either start up your own career as a freelance designer, or as a person who is doing designing and contracting put together, for which you have to prepare a BOQ, bill of quantity, and proposal, a quotation. So you should be knowing about the estimation also. Even that is covered. The course contains, the last chapter covers about the specification, estimation, and how to present the market value, everything put together to make you as a complete interior designer. And these are the course contents. As we said, we will be sharing the slides also with you all, so that you can take notes of these points that we are speaking about. The course details will be shared to you. So it starts from introduction, basic design, drawing equipment, perspectives, and shadows and reflections, pencil and pen rendering, all these things completely. And there are two elements in it. Volume 1, the first volume, the 6 months, it's a 1-year program, and the 6 months is covering in all these details with respect to the residential things and commercial elements, the interior landscaping, estimation, specification, professional practice, design process, all these things comes under the second volume, the commercial space. As I was mentioning, it starts from freehand sketching. You will be taught how to do a freehand drawing in a sheet of paper, with the drafters or without even drafters, just doing this freelance. The first day of the class will be different shades available in the drawing portfolio, and how to choose what shade and how to give that shade, the rendering, everything will be taught to you. The elements of design, as mentioned, the texture, the pattern, the space, line, form, light, everything. And design principles like the proportion, the scale, the balance, the harmony, all these elements that are listed here. Spatial organization, either the linear or the radial or the clustered, how the space can be organized, the different elements of organizing the space, and the drawing equipments that are required. Starting from, when you look at a design output, the engineering drawing, it has specifications from lettering, scales, the dimensioning, how to present the plans, elevations and all, section, etc. So all these drawing equipments will be taught. Perspective views, different perspectives like 1-point, 2-point perspective, all these are covered. And the building materials, the materials that we use for execution, so that you can use them in the design process, the entire process, the cycle of the design, starting from, as we spoke about, the data gathering, the collection of requirements, analyzing, synthesizing, and evaluating all these things. Design elements. Today, most of the projects we do, where we do, in Synergetica, the company, we have lot of aesthetical element added along with the basic requirements. The basic requirements are there, like as I said, the modular kitchen or the wardrobe, puja unit, crockery unit. These are basic elements. The added aesthetical elements are like, master bedroom is requiring of wooden flooring, balconies with artificial grass, and in ceiling, the false ceiling, different types of false ceiling that are required in different rooms. So these add up to that space more value and more happiness inside the house. So those design elements are taught, where to fit what. Space planning, as I said, this is a very, very important fundamental concept that the interior designer should know. How to plan a living room, how to plan a dining room, how to plan a bedroom, what are the major circulation area, what is the working triangle, and all these are in detail taught in this particular course. This is another element, like the human dimension, the anthropometric. We spoke about the home office, right? Here, I have just given a picture where, if in case you see, I'll just spot it. This person sitting in front of the laptop. Now, most of us have started attending webinars. When in webinars, in some webinars, we see that the person who is speaking, the host, either is seen from the bottom, the camera is over here, or from here, where you have to place your webcam, and where you should keep, what is the distance at which you should keep yourself from the screen, and what is the height at which you have to sit, and what is the ergonomy of the person, if in case sitting in front of the system and working for a long time. And this also applies, this is a home office model that I have shown, and this also applies in kitchen, where the countertop should be in which height, and what is the wall units height that is possible, the depth that is possible, all these human, to fit the human who is going to use that particular space. So functionally feasible design, that's what we spoke about. So anthropometry, the accessibility and the human dimensions are taught. The ancillary services, not just the carpentry. We've been speaking about carpentry. We also have to start thinking about other ancillary services when we speak about interior design. I explained you about the turnkey interior design and turnkey contractors, where every element related to interior design is considered during the designing and during the execution. So air conditioning, and where should be the air conditioning kept, the unit kept, and acoustics. We spoke about the home theater. Now home theater, then it is acoustic is very important, the sound insulation and damp proofing. All these things also comes under the interior design. Ancillary services, we speak about that, we teach that in detail to our students. And yes, software training. We spoke about the 3 software that we normally speak. This program consists of AutoCAD, Photoshop, and SketchUp. V-Ray is not here, but that is also separately available in the institute. But in this package, AutoCAD refers to 2D drawing, and Photoshop can help you doing image editing, and SketchUp is an image rendering and visualization software, image visualization software. V-Ray is image rendering software. So this is a project that we have done, like I have just given a sample here. This is one of our recent project. This is the 2D output that we are speaking about. This is the pre-rendered output that we are speaking about. And this is the last part, is the rendered output, how it will actually look like. This is in the design phase. The project has got completed and it has come out in the similar way. Maybe this is a designing course, so I have not brought that picture here, but then this is something that designer has to understand. If the designer is able to give a portfolio, the presentation this way, the customer can have an appeal over it and can sign it saying yes, go, good to go or not. So this is this presentation that we are speaking about with respect to interior design. And yeah, in residential, projects have to be done as a part of the course. The student has to complete a project, and the project will be guided by the faculty to complete and properly submit as a portfolio. So if you're applying for the job after the course, or if you're taking up your own projects, you are becoming a freelancer, or you are taking up projects also along with the designs, this portfolio can be the platform for you to set on. So the residential project like modular kitchen design, the working table, all this has to be considered in the portfolio. And commercial, either you can do office spaces or malls or restaurants or theaters, retails, showroom or spas. Generally, guest lectures is an add-on package in the course. Wherever there is a requirement, all the relevant topics will be covered, touched by the industry experts on these areas that we have given, starting from interior landscape, vastu, flooring, project management is also there, how to manage a project. And there is something called professional practice. For people who qualify, the students who qualify and do well, we offer even internships. About Dream Zone, I'll just take this slide to speak about Dream Zone. As I was mentioning, Dream Zone is a division of CAT Center. CAT Center, you all must be knowing that it is a training institute which is there for more than 30 years. In India, it started with Chennai as the base, and they have 650 plus centers in 29 countries. And this Dream Zone is a division of CAT Center, which is training on creative courses like interior design, fashion design, and animation. So here today we are speaking about interior design as a course. Otherwise, we also have fashion design and animation in our institute. So Dream Zone is available in 100 plus centers across all metros across the country, and it is an NSDC approved training partner. NSDC stands for National Skill Development Corporation, and our courses, our programs are all approved by the NSDC, and even our center is approved by NSDC. So the skill development is the focus that we give. That's what they are approving for. And we have a unique approach. As I said, I can vouch for the methodology and the course curriculum itself. I know I'm just amazed with the way it's prepared, and I had been living with it for so many years. Dream Zone is a member of IIID, Institute of Indian Interior Designers, and it is a time-tested training process. It offers professional courses. So this is just about Dream Zone. Dream Zone is the institute that I am speaking about. This is where we run it in Chennai, Kovilambakam, and this is where this course is offered. So we have best fit curriculum and course offering, industry relevant curriculum, the course material. Every course will be coming with, there are a lot of courses available. Today I'm speaking about interior design alone. The course material is a de facto offering in the course itself. It is developed by a department called Curriculum and Product Development Team. This team works with the industry, understands the requirement, and then frames the curriculum and course material to fit to the requirement exactly. And the instructors, the trainers are all professionally trained. They are certified. ITA is it's an internal training academy which is available in the corporate office, and they train the instructors, all the faculty members. See, basically, when it comes to a training institute, it is just not that the person should be knowledged with the course. Like if I know how to do a good interior design, that doesn't make me a good trainer, a good faculty. I should also be knowing how to teach the skill sets that I possess, I acquire, and how to make you as a good designer. So all our trainers are trained on both these concepts. They already are experts in interior designing skills. They also are trained how to make a good training and how to make others, the students, a good designer. So they're also certified, evaluated and certified by this ITA. And these people are professionals who give training, not just on the professional side of interior skills, but also on the delivery side. Practical and experiential learning, industry visits are taken through, and this is a factory picture that we this is our factory. Since we also do interior design projects, we take students for real-time projects also. We have site engineers who take care of site works at site, and we have production guys who work in this factory, and we have the opportunity to take our students to the site, to the ongoing sites and to the factory, and give them a real-time understanding of how it happens. So the certificate comes as a package of the course, and internationally valid certificate with NSDC and Skill India logo in it. Business association with world leaders like interior design. There is some events like interior trends which happens, and those actually are platform for the students to present their performance and then do very well there. The industry toppers, the industry leaders will be coming and presenting there. So they will be knowing who are the good students, and they can immediately take them, absorb them. These are the sample pictures of the course materials, the course books, bookwares that we give as a part of the course. And placement assistance. Yes, placement, though, there is no doubt, because huge opportunity in this field, and there are big giants which have started interior designing as the main portfolio for them, like say HomeLane or LivSpace or Spaceworld. And just for an example, HomeLane alone has announced almost 5,000 freelance interior designers required for this year. So that is the kind of requirement. And of course, placement assistance, we offer placement assistance to all our students, saying that we give them opportunity to attend interviews, and it's up to the performance of the student to grab the opportunity. That assistance we give to all the students. And we also have our own design office, and we can recruit in Kovilambakam. Dream Zone Kovilambakam is our center, my center that I'm representing today, and we give real-time project understanding, as I have given here in this picture. These are the phases in which the the project is taking into. So this phase of interior design is taught, completely with the real-time understanding. Factory visits are taken through, and work in process, WIP stands for work in progress. So work in progress sites are visited, and the site engineers would explain in person how the project is getting assembled or installed in the site. These are some pictures of the work in progress sites. Guest lectures by working designers. The designers who do the real-time projects, they give guest lectures time to time, along with the faculty's guidance. Even this industry exposure is also given. Internship possibilities. We have huge requirements. not only in our company, even in our affiliated companies, and that's when we started training on interior design, because finally when we required interior designers, it is better for us to take a professionally trained candidate rather than take a candidate and train, because our time gets spent maximum there. So any company, any interior design firm, big firm, will be looking for trained candidates, and Homelane has actually spoken with Dream Zone directly in asking for maximum students that is possible for this year. So this is the picture that which represents interior trends. This is a nationwide event. I was speaking about 100 centers across India. So all these centers, the students, they will be participating in the annual event, which is on presenting their performance. So the best student will be offered with lot of awards and opportunities to work with big giants in the market. Okay, now I have told you all about number one, this profession, interior design, what is it, and how the industry is going to respond after this pandemic or in the new normal, and the opportunities that it is going to unveil. And also, as a professional interior designer, what are the skill sets that you are expected to possess, and also how to acquire these skill sets from which institute. So this is basically the entire presentation concise. You can contact our team members, Ms. Selin and Ms. Kirtana, for more details. The phone numbers are given in the slide. The contact names are given in the slide. Please call us and clarify your doubts, and please register. We look forward to your joining, and let you all make beautiful designers, good professional interior designers, to fulfill the opportunities and the limitless available opportunity demand in the industry. Thank you all. Thank you so much, and have a good time.